Hi, I'm Barry Sahajian, and today we're going to be working on some bass lines in thirds. And we're going to use it as an exercise, and then we're going to make some creative lines with it, and I'll show you where you can use them. Basically, this is going to be a G major, and when I get to the creative part, the lines I am giving you will work perfectly on a G major chord as well as a G major with extensions of a major seventh or a seventh chord, for instance. We're going to play the root to the third, that's our first set of thirds. Then we're going to play the second degree to the fourth, and then I'm going to play the third degree to the fifth, like this. And then there's going to be a rest for one beat, because we want this in 4/4 time. So it will sound like this. That's where we're going to begin. I'm going to extend on it and give it a little more character as well, but I'm starting out slowly here. So after you get that down, you may want to get it down at a tempo. It's very simple to play, and you're only using your index, your middle, and your baby finger. And you could also get rid of the baby finger if you haven't developed that yet and use your third finger, something like this. That'll work, but I recommend using the index, middle, and fourth finger. So here's what we have so far. The next example, I'm going to take that same phrase and make it 4 beats, and just change it a little bit so you can play it over and over. And at this point, it's just an exercise to gain dexterity and get used to playing a phrase with thirds. So the first 2 beats, I played the same as in the last example, but on the third beat, I changed it from instead of a root and a third from the third degree, I played root and octave. The funny thing, and that's a sixth, a minor sixth. The funny thing about the minor sixth is if you turn that upside down, it becomes a major third in G. It would be a B to a G, and turn it around upside down, it would be a G to a B. But so anyway, that is the third phrase, and it sounds like this. This next example is 2 measures long, and the chords you might use over this would be a G to a D7. First measure G, second measure 5/7 of 1. Right now, I'd like to talk about how you can use these lines. I specifically wrote them to be in meter, every single line, so you could use them. I don't like practicing lines that are in 5/4 and then try to put them in 4/4. That leads to errors, and you don't want to do that. So all my lines are in meter, which means, once again, it means if it's in 4/4 time, the sum of all the notes has to be 4 beats. Or if it's in 3/4, same applies. The first section was 3 full beats with a rest, which is 4 beats. That quarter note rest gives you the time to go into another line or move up the neck to another position, you know, like. And see how I did that? I easily could improvise on the second measure. I had the quarter rest, which is the time I can move or even fill it in if I wanted to use that quarter rest into a second line, but it's very good to practice that way so you have these options. I'd like to go back to the first example we did. So right now we're going to take that line and make a couple of variations on it, and this may be a little more towards an intermediate advanced, but you may want to check it out. I'm going to take the same line. Now let me show you what I can do to extend this to 4 measures. what I just did is I'm playing a triad from the G, which would be the root of the key of G, and then to the octave, another triad of G, and then to the fifth, which would be a D triad, and then the fourth, a C triad. I'm playing the same pattern with one variation as I go along. I know I'm getting a little complicated now. Bear with me, it's not that complicated because we're just using a 1, 4, 5 like a blues progression basically. So the first one is going to go like this. Then we're going to the octave, but we're going to change the order of the notes in the arpeggio. And then we're going to the fifth, which is a D triad. And that would be the original idea. And then we go down to the fourth. And that will be the second variation I used as in the octave. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 4 lines and take the rests out. Just play them note after note, eighth notes. Again. Once again, very slow. Although I'm moving a lot from 2 positions, that is entirely diatonic. All of those notes will work on a G chord, a G major chord. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. Visit my Patreon page where you can download all the examples I used in here. There's plenty of things to study, and you can pick and choose which works for you and which interests you. And until next time,